Hey Warriors! So what I want to do now is talk about the next part is once you have your 5 cylinders drawn, it's to go ahead and shade it. So you don't want to, I want to hit up on something. You don't want to do this part first. You want to make sure you have everything drawn the way you want it and then start shading. I'm going to show you how to do it with colored pencil. I'll also show you how to do it with pen and ink if you want to go that route. Erase pen and ink, and you can't erase colored pencils. Sure, they made some colored pencils that erase, but those are really kind of crappy colored pencils. So you want to have everything drawn out exactly the way you want it, and you can go through and actually start to use colored pencils and color it. So what I like to do is kind of like go through what complementary colors are and how you're going to use them, and how it darkens up a color without dulling it out. So typically, like if you were, like say I have, I got the color red right here, right? And let's flip it over. So say I want to color something red. With a color pencil, you could lightly push down on it. You might be able to have a little bit of white over it. But eventually you want to get like a little bit darker and a little bit darker. And you push it a little bit harder, get a little bit darker than that. And eventually, it gets about as dark as it's going to get, because that's the color of the color pencil. It's not going to get any darker than this. And push down harder, and it's not going to get any darker than this. So now there are a couple different things you could do. And this is the same way with all colors. It doesn't matter if it's color pencil, pastels, paint. Usually, like if we want to make a red darker, a lot of you guys will think, okay, well, I can mix black with it, and like sure, you can mix black with it. If you want to make a color lighter, you can mix white with it. If you want to make dark, you can use black with it. But when you do that, it loses some of its intensity. It dulls the color out. If you think about it, if you mix black and white together, what do you get? You get gray. You get a really dull color. But now, say if you want to darken a color, but let it stay, have it still say vibrant, you want to use the opposite color on the color wheel. And the opposite color on the color wheel is called the complementary color. So let's start by making a quick color wheel right here. So for a color wheel, you have your primary color, so you have your red. Then you have your yellow. Hopefully you can see that. And then you have your blue. Okay, so first thing, if you mix red and blue together, what do you get? Well, since I'm talking a video, no one's going to answer me, but the answer is purple. So red and blue together, you get purple, or you get a violet. Now if you mix blue and yellow together, you get green. And then if you mix yellow and orange, so now the complementary color for red is green and vice versa. Blue is orange and vice versa. And purple is yellow and vice versa. So let me show you how this works. So now I'm coloring red, and I want to darken this red up. I can use green, which is the opposite color on the color wheel. And if I put a little bit of green on top of that red, just lightly put it on there, it gets to be a really dark red. Hopefully you guys can see that decently here at the thing, but you see how it's a dark red? And it's still vibrant, it's not dulled out. So the same thing with like green. If I did green, and you have a light color on one side, you want to get a little darker, and you want to start pushing it a little bit harder with the color pencil, get darker. And it's not getting any darker than this. This is as dark as this green's going to go, because it's the color of the color pencil right now. But now if I take a little bit of red and put that red over that green, it gets to be a really dark green. So the same thing with blue and yellow, or I mean blue and orange. So you got blue, got a light blue, then you go through, just lightly put some orange on top of that blue, And it's be a really dark, dark blue. So it's the opposite color, keeps it vibrant, doesn't dull it out. It's actually pretty cool. And the same thing, you know, so if you did orange and add a little blue to it, it'd get to be a really dark orange. And if you do purple and then add a little yellow to it, it's going to get a dark purple. Then if you add yellow and very lightly put some purple on it, it'll be a really dark yellow. So here's purple, but with yellow on it, get it to be really dark purple. So those are complementary colors. Now for like drawing this out, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of think of it like a direction that the light's going to go. So if the light's all shining this way, it may be darker on the opposite side. So if I was going to make this into using colored pencils, let's say, I don't know what color is a good color. Let's make this top of this orange. So now the top, the light's hitting the top, so the top's all the same. So that's all me like a light orange because it's hitting the top for this lid. So it's all the same shade for the very top, but now the side, the light's in the side, but it's not getting in the back side, so it's going to get darker as it gets back. So I'm going to start by lightly going through with the orange. But then as I start working my way towards the back, where the light's not hitting as much, it's going to get a little darker. And even darker. Now if I want to make this orange in the very back really dark, then you grab a little bit of blue and very lightly go over that orange with the blue, and it gets to be a really dark orange. Yet it still stays vibrant. Then, I don't know, maybe this can's purple. So I'll go do like a very light purple on one side where the light's hitting it. And it starts getting a little darker. So this goes from light on the right side to dark on the left side. Now to make that purple really dark but stay vibrant, I take some of this yellow, which is the opposite color of the color wheel, the complementary color, and put the yellow on top of the purple. And you can see it gets a really dark purple. You guys kind of get the idea. Here's a green. But it gets darker on the corner. I can color the letters 7 different, but it's all color pencils. So complementary colors, darker where the light doesn't hit, lighter on the light side, and then you can go through and you know what, I might as well give it a shadow because the shadow's gonna be really dark. So I got my purple. And I got the yellow right on top of the purple, which I just broke the color pencil. But it gets to be like a nice dark purple. So that's complementary colors, how you go about doing that. The next thing I'm going to like to go through is pen and ink. So now if you're going to do pen and ink shading, what you can do if you don't have color pencils, I'll do pencil, then I'll do pen and ink. So say you got a cylinder right here. Now if it's a flat surface, so the top's all going to be the same, shading with pencil, then you can just shade one dark side. And then progressively gets lighter. and lighter, as it works way over. And for here, you can use your thumb. Or if you have a paper towel or even a blending stump, you can use that to kind of just blend the colors together. From like a light to a dark. And then you have your shadow. So if you don't have a pen, decent pen, you don't have any colored pencils, go through and you can shade with just regular pencil. Now, if you want to do it with a pen and ink, what we're going to use is a method called cross-hatching. So if I have my cylinder right here, and so I got a Sharpie. Let's go over the lines I just drew. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So first of all, the top's light. So for the top, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do light lines. I'll go in one direction because just light for the light hitting the top. Now for the sides, it's going to get darker on one side and lighter on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do the same curve method going across where I have a solid line, then maybe dotted. Solid, dot. Solid, dot. So solid to different dots. Then you can do lines straight up and down on the side. So you got lines straight up and down. So you got solid lines closer together where it's dark, and solid lines a little further apart. Then some dotted lines. And the dotted lines are closer together. And then you can do some more curves but kind of going downwards. So I got a curve, dot, dot, curve, dot, dot, curve, dot, dot. So it's progressively goes from dark and progressively gets lighter and lighter as it gets to the light side. And then you do cross hatching on the very bottom, which you have straight lines, vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. Gets you like a nice shadow. So feel free to go about using color pencil. If you have color pencil, that works great. If you're in class right now, we're using color pencil. If you don't have a decent set of color pencils, I don't want you to run and go buy some. So use a pen. And if you don't have a decent fine tip pen, just use pencil. But you're going to shade it, your 5 cylinders. The last part here is I'm just going to show you a couple of different ideas. So you can draw cans, but it doesn't have to be cans. Say you want to draw like a layered cake. Maybe do like a wedding cake or something. So if you have rectangles on top of rectangles, maybe 3 layers on top of rectangles, then that's how you would start out. And you go through and you do the same thing where you have your little line going up and line going down, the same thing, and you make a curve on the top. Then you go down to the next one, the same line, going up and down, make a curve on the bottom. Curve on the bottom. And you go through and you can erase then all the lines you don't need, and you could have your layered cake. Maybe a couple of pillars, because they're like a raised layer cake. Another oval. and so on. You guys get the idea. So that's how you do like a raised cake. But I mean, you can do anything you want. You can do like here's a cylinder robot. Draw your cylinders, and then for your robot, do some eyes. Maybe make it a cylinder neck. Cylinder body. Cylinder arms. You can do cylinder fingers if you want. Cylinder legs. Cylinder feet. So, I mean, it's really whatever you want. Cylinder army tank. So, you got cylinder gun. Cylinder turret. And treads, which aren't cylinders. But you can have cylinder wheels. Anyways, there's so many different things you can do. Like, if you come up with an idea, as long as it's a cylinder, you're going to be just fine with this project. So, well, the ink went right through the paper. So you got, that's pretty much it. I'll show you a couple of different examples in the presentation. With 5 cylinders, however you want to do them, could use a space, some complementary colors, or pen and ink, or pencil to do some shading. And if you need to look at something, I need to look at something to draw it. So if I want to draw, like, I don't know, a can of Red Bull, I have to look at a picture of a can of Red Bull to draw it. So that's what I got. Thank you.